everyone, it's Burns. I'm back. I thought I would share a little bit about what I've been going through for the last 3.5 months. I'm kind of on YouTube in like peaks and valleys. Like I'll be on a lot and then I will disappear for a little bit and then I'll be back again. And that's just usually because my workload with designing competition suits and creating my fashion line is so busy, which I'm so grateful for. But this last little spell of MIA was because I was diagnosed with cancer. The good news, in a nutshell, is that if you had to pick a cancer to be diagnosed with, yeah, right? This would probably be the one. The type of cancer was called a GIST, which stands for gastrointestinal sarcoma tumor, and it usually happens along the digestive tract, anywhere from your esophagus right down to your rectum. Mine happened to be on my stomach, and it happened to be small enough that it could be removed. So in December, I had the tumor removed. I had to have a full open abdominal surgery to have it removed because the doctor really didn't want to take a chance of rupturing it, in which case it could spread the cancer to my entire abdominal cavity. So he had to go in and do a full incision right down my abdomen, which I'll get to. I'll show it to you in a minute. But yeah, it was quite the experience. It was quite the ordeal. The good news is that I'm cancer-free. My lymph nodes were completely clear. And the other good news is that this type of tumor, because of the size and location and the meiotic rate for the cancer cells, it's usually curative, which is great. And the cure is usually removing the entire tumor, including any of the organs that it's associated with, or any part of the organ that it's associated with, for complete removal. And yeah, so in December I had that done, and in the process they had to remove 90% of my stomach. So I went in thinking that some of my I was hoping that it was just my stomach that was affected and that it wasn't also associated or attached to my liver or my pancreas or any other organs, and it was just associated with my stomach. And yeah, so I woke up from my surgery, and yeah, that was an ordeal. Holy shit. But let me back up a little bit and tell you sort of what happened. I've been, you know me, my weight loss videos, and I've always had issues with my weight growing up. And I was on a really healthy eating plan, and I was feeling really good, and I was working out. My workouts were getting really good, and I woke up on November the 1st, like at about 1 in the morning, with the most frigging ridiculous cramps in my upper abdomen. I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, I was paralyzed for like little spurts of 10, 15, 20 seconds, little spasms like that, and it kept getting worse. I thought, all right, I've overdone it in the gym. I had also just had a deep tissue massage that afternoon, so I thought, okay, I've overdone it. This is just crazy cramps from maybe I worked my abs too hard or whatever. And I figured, you know what, it's got to go away, right? Because it's just crazy. Even thought, maybe I'm having a heart attack, but it didn't feel, it wasn't high enough in my chest to feel like that. It was just right at the top of my abdomen, just under, like where your diaphragm for your lungs would be. So, of course, I said, listen, I tried not to wake up my husband, but he woke up, and he said, like, what the hell is going on? I said, I don't know, man, but I don't feel good. Tried to get some sleep, and, I got a little bit of sleep, and by the morning I thought to myself, okay, this has got to pass. It's muscle cramp. Couple days will go by and I'll be fine. Couple days went by and I was in so much pain. I couldn't walk down the hall. I couldn't get back on my bed after trying to walk down the hall. I was just paralyzed with pain. So we went to the emergency room. They did a bunch of tests. They did a CT scan, an ultrasound, and they came back and said, you have a tumor of some kind on your stomach. We went in thinking, okay, it's gallbladder, because it was kind of on the right-hand side. I was feeling the pain. I was getting pain in my right shoulder. And we figured, okay, let's go. It's gallbladder. I probably have a gallstone. Let's go take care of it. Got to the hospital. They did the tests. And this was in California, where I'm living right now. And they came back and said, we got to admit you. There's no way we can let you go. I was in like level 8, 9, 10 pain. I was in so much pain. They couldn't even palpitate my abdomen without me bursting into tears. So they admitted me. And did a bunch of other tests to see what was going on. They did a GI scope down my stomach for, you know, the picture camera thing. That was all clear, so it wasn't anything on the inside of the stomach, and that's when they determined that it was most likely a GIST, a gastrointestinal carcinoma tumor. And they decided that the only way to take care of this is to completely remove it. So long story short, my insurance decided that they were not going to cover any more surgery. That's it. As soon as they said cancer, GIST tumor, they suddenly decided that it was fine for me to fly back to Canada that day, the day before I was to have the surgery to remove it. Long story short, I said, okay, screw it. I'm going back to Canada. I went back to Canada actually on the 12th of December. No, wait, I had the surgery on the 12th of December. Went back to Canada, where I'm still covered under my Canadian insurance because we prepaid it, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, went back to Canada, and that was interesting. I had to leave my husband and kids down here because he's working down here and my kids are in school. Went back to Canada, stayed with my younger sister Debbie, who is amazing, took amazing care of me, had the tumor out, and 10 days after my surgery I was able to fly back in time for Christmas, which was amazing. It was really, really great to be able to do that, to be here. But yeah, so what a crazy, crazy ordeal. Over the course of that whole experience, like really from November 1st to now, man, I've really had to look at life. Like, you never really think that you're going to be diagnosed with cancer. And it's scary. It's like, holy shit, I could fucking die. That was crazy. You know, I always knew and had a really good sense that it would be okay. I just had a really good intuitive sense to that. But it was really, it's scary when you have a husband who I love dearly and we've been together for a long time. Oh, I'm going to cry. You know, and kids, it sucks. It really does. Anyhow, but I always had a really good feeling that it would be okay. You know, and that that even the results that would come back would be okay. And they were, but it's interesting. With tumors, the treatment is usually removal of the tumor and the organ associated with it, and because of where mine was located and it wasn't hadn't metastasized to my liver, I don't need chemotherapy and I don't need radiation, which is fantastic. It's been challenging though. I'll do a couple videos on how I've been dealing with having 10% of my stomach. On the positive side is that, you know, I went from my surgery date of 162 pounds down to 142 pounds, like almost instantaneously. And the doctor said that he doesn't want me doing any more dieting, although I still watch what I eat, but that I won't have any issues really with gaining weight or fighting my weight as much. So it's been interesting. It's been a challenge. It kind of sucks sometimes. I can eat anything, and I've gotten a lot better at knowing how much I can eat, which is like really small portions compared to what I used to eat, which is a good thing because I was eating too much anyhow. But there still are times when you can get dumping syndrome, which is, this is just typical gastric bypass is the equivalent to what I had done, except I had it done because I had this fucking tumor. And it's called a Roux-en-Y procedure. But anyhow, more on that later. I'm doing good though. I'm finally back to feeling more like myself. I haven't started working out yet. And the follow-up treatment is that I need to go back up for regular CT scans, I think 3 or 4 times a year. So just for them to scan my system to make sure that it hasn't reoccurred. So yeah, it's been a journey. It's been interesting. Let me show you my scar. Getting over the scar thing was also fucked up because, you know, I'm vain and I just am. And having a reminder, daily reminder, I was really, you know, not that pleased about that. But more about that later. I'll talk a little bit more about that whole side of it in another video. But let me show you my scar. It runs from my breastbone all the way down to my belly button, my zipper. And this was where the drainage tube was for the surgery. But yeah, the surgery itself was, it was intense. I'll do that in another video as well. I just wanted to share with everybody what I've been going through. I'm good though. I'm happy. I've realized a lot of things that I appreciate a lot more now and that I'm not quite as freaked out about. And that really, there's a lot of stuff I used to worry about and used to think really mattered when it fucking doesn't. Let me tell you, it really doesn't. When you have that, when you're faced with your mortality and you're laying in a hospital bed with, I counted 7 different tubes or either going out of me or going into me, yeah, suddenly the little shit that you used to get freaked out about doesn't fucking matter anymore. Excuse my French. It really doesn't. So, you know, I feel very blessed for having gone through this, and for some of the realizations and the appreciations that I have now. So I just wanted to share that with everybody and to let those of you who do know about my experience, let you know and see for real. It's me, it's Burns. I'm still here. I'm still doing well. And I want to thank everybody who's supported me through this crazy ass time. I really appreciated it. I felt your love. I felt your prayers. So you guys know who you are. Love you. Take care.